Hey guys, welcome back to Draw with T, or Draw with Tay. Still figuring that out. Let me know in the comments what you think it is. I'm Tegan, and today we've got a different camera angle. So this is on my brother's tripod, which he's given me on loan. And here I'm kind of waffling about. So the reason we've got a different camera angle happening is as you can kind of maybe tell from the screen, I wanted to draw from Pinterest. So in episode 2, I was working on my character, Storm Screech, the hippogriff / Gryphon. She's a hippogriff, but I just kind of end up calling them Gryphons. And part of that I did in episode 2 is just the face, and then I kind of realized, oh crap, she's gonna have to wear armor in the story, and I don't know why I hadn't really thought of that she's gonna have 2 sets of armor, so that's something I gotta draw. So here, this is me attempting to draw some concepts of what that armor could look like in only 30 minutes, because I had to get ready for work after this, and it was supposed to be a 90-minute draw session, multiple pages, good chunk of time to dig into the concept and, just figure out, how do I draw armor? Okay, how do I draw Gryphon armor? And it ended up being 30 minutes of, I've got to rush this out if I want anything. So this page here is actually, I consider it a very bad page in my sketchbook. Normally that would bother me, but, I've really amped up my sketchbook drawing, and this is sketchbook 32. And I believe it's going to be the 4th sketchbook that I will probably have done this year. That's basically 400 pages of sketching that I've filled up in a year. And when you start producing that many sketches, you kind of stop caring about an entire sketchbook page that sucks. And yeah, even if it was 3 sketchbooks, it's still a lot of sketches, and if you guys are wondering how to get over your fear of drawing bad, it is to draw bad, and then just keep drawing. Just draw lots. And I know, we're all busy. Draw as much as you can, right? It's a muscle. You can't just decide to draw for 8 hours one day if you've only been drawing a half hour a week. You gotta grow into it, right? So yeah, here's my first sketch. It's okay. Let me tell you what's not really working in any of these designs. So it's a compounded problem. First is I can't really draw animals. I mean, I can't, obviously. I am here. What I mean is I can't draw them to my satisfaction. And it doesn't help that I'm rushing here, so I'm not even taking the time to think through things, to redraw the proportions. Often the legs end up very big and lopsided with each other here. So that's a problem, that I can't really draw animals to how I want. And then the next problem is a Gryphon, a hippogriff, that's a compound creature, right? That's a bird, that's a horse, and a lion. Going with the hippogriff, right? A hippogriff is a Gryphon mixed with a horse in standard mythology? I don't know what it is in Harry Potter lore, but to some of you may not know this, but the hippogriff and the Gryphon, they do exist outside of Harry Potter. Yeah, you knew that. Of course you did. So that's 3 animals to draw, and I really don't know how any of them really work. So then you have to add armor on top of it, and the only historical armor really is horse armor. And there you can kind of see I'm actually looking at horse armor now. So it's very hard to draw something that I don't understand, like horse armor. How does that go on a horse? What parts are protected? How much plating versus not plating do you have? Because after all, you want your horse to move fast on the battlefield, but you want them protected. I don't understand how horse armor works. Human armor? Yeah. Oh my goodness. I have a suit of armor, guys. We'll get to that in future videos. Trust me. But horse armor? No, I don't know how that works. So trying to draw horse armor, which I don't understand, on a Gryphon, which is 3 animals I don't understand, when I don't really know how to draw those animals, it's asking for a lot to expect good results that look like I know what I'm doing, that look original. And on top of that, honestly, the first page of sketches I ever do of anything without any sort of any material beforehand. Like if I had drawn another page of armor somewhere else, or if there was a design that I wanted it to look 50% like, that would be different. But here, I have no idea what I want this to be. It could be anything. Well, almost. It does have to match Tristan's armor, because Storm Screech is Tristan's mount, and aesthetically, I want them to look the same. They both have a rusty dented set of armor, and then a beautiful kind of magical set that kind of activates later on. And, yeah, so honestly, the first page concepts, they always suck. It's always a mix of me trying to find the silhouette, me trying variations, and I often hate the first page so much that, admittedly, I kind of rush through it much faster than I really should. But, to be honest, it sort of works for me. I mean, I'm no great character designer by any stretch of the imagination. If you ask any of my teachers back in art college, I'm sure they'll tell you that, I've got strengths, but character design ain't one of them. I don't try enough variations and stuff, I think was the problem. Maybe I also just didn't draw particularly well. I don't quite remember. I kind of do. I just don't want to remember it, man. But, yeah, it's just, I like to rush through the first page, or it just sort of happens, because I just kind of want to get the crap out. Does that make sense? It's like, yeah, I know I can't draw these animals very well. It's the armor I'm after here, so let's just draw some shapes. They're gonna look bad. Just get some ideas out. And the idea would have been that if this had been the full drawing session I wanted it to be, we would move on to the second blank page over there, and we'd, kind of draw it a bit better, or, focus in on something more. This, though, is kind of a unique situation, because at the end of this page, I really realized that I'd really failed in the attempt that I'd wanted. There wasn't any sort of gem in the rough here, and the drawings themselves weren't good, and it wasn't that I'd rushed them that they were bad. It was that I recognized my lack of understanding, and I actually, after drawing this, when I came home later that day, I decided, you know what, I don't think I'm quite ready to tackle Gryphon Armour. Like, I realized, well, to draw effective armor on a Gryphon, I kind of need to probably look up a little bit about how horse armor works, right? And I've done research on human armor, so I'm confident that I can find some stuff on horse armor. How does it attach? How can I make that different for a Gryphon, right? And then I started to think, well, wait, how does a Gryphon look? I mean, obviously, you go on Pinterest, you can see a lot of people's versions, but how do I want my Gryphons and my hippogriffs to look? Are they gonna be hippogriffs and Gryphons? They could be anything. It's a fantasy story that I'm telling. Why do they have to be from our mythology? And to be honest, I think what I will choose will probably be a Gryphon or a hippogriff, because that's kind of the story I'm telling. I'm not going for 100% never seen before unique content. I am kind of, riffing off of and taking inspiration from our modern mythology, but, maybe it's a Gryphon with the hooves in the front, or maybe there's 4 wings. It could be anything, the only way I'll know is if I draw it and explore it. And to get to that, kind of would help if I knew something as simple as, how do I want the back legs to look? I mean, I could be wrong here, but if I remember, Buckbeak in Harry Potter kind of has an anatomy that's very horse-like. And to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of that. I think it works, but, for how I want Storm Screech to function, I want her front arms to be very expressive, very human-like, that she can sort of have these, use her front paws to sort of emote, because she can't talk, and then how do I want the back legs? Do I want the back legs to be very horse-like? Do I want them to be lion-like? That's something that I gotta explore, and a good way to start exploring how I want that matched up is to first understand what am I mashing up. So following this page, I kind of decided I needed to do studies of animals that I could mash up into Gryphons. So going forward, that's probably what you'll see me drawing next, unless something else grabs my attention and needs drawing. As you can see on this page, I've just, sort of scribbling things, maybe faster than I really should. There's 2 drawings above the one I'm drawing now, and those are kind of outlined in red, where I kind of just drew a griffin sort of shape and slapped on where I think armor would go. And it was just kind of a quick shorthand for future me, because I realized, horses don't attack like I imagine riding. Like, the thing with hippogriffs in this world is they're really vicious. They'll attack as much as the knight that is riding them. So what if they had a really armored front body, because they were engaging in combat on top of, their knights not only engaged in combat, but griffins would fight other griffins or, foot soldiers around them. So what if they had like iron-tipped claws? Because, maybe they're not striding through battle. Maybe they're flying. Maybe they're grabbing things as they fly by. So, maybe actually their underbelly is way more armored, or maybe they have 2 different kinds of armor. You have the armor you wear, or your griffin wears when you expect them to battle on foot, and the kind of armor you expect them to wear when they're doing air battle and you're worried about archers underneath. That's the sort of stuff that you gotta think about and design for, and, it takes way more than 1 page to do that, that's for sure. And here, it's just a bunch of sketches that I did. There's just so much to draw when you're working on that first page. I often find it hard just to focus in. It takes me 2, 3, sometimes a lot of pages before I really focus in and get patient and start really doing good designs. And, if any of you guys are new, that's... You gotta draw past the first design. Especially, it's mandatory if you really want to be professional. You're never going to sit down and draw something and bam, that's the character. I'm done. Send it off to Disney. You're hired. If you're that good, you've obviously, you're either a genius, an alien, or you've drawn a million billion sketchbook pages, right? Anyways, we're coming up near the end here. Like I said, this was something I rushed out. Guys, I'm interested in hearing what you thought of this camera angle. Was it acceptable? I do want to get a nicer camera going forward, but for the time being, this is kind of what I gotta work with, right? So if I want to look at reference, I gotta use this camera angle. Let me know if it was atrocious. And let's cut to the other camera angled and show you guys kind of a close-up. This is what I drew. Yeah, it's gestural, it's scribbly, it is what it is. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I really, really mean that. If you want to see more of the stuff, please, hate saying it, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I'm a new YouTuber, even 1 like and whatever means a lot to me. So, yeah. See you guys in the next episode. Bye.